All right. So happy Monday, you guys. I don't want to say like happy Memorial Day, but I do want to tell you, I hope you guys took a moment of silence for those that lost their life, for our freedoms. Our family did, and we had a great day and we're able to be together. And I hope you had the same with your family. The one that we are going to be going into tonight and almost every inspiration Zoom until I finish this book. If you don't have it, you need to get it. It's called You Are a Badass. A friend of mine gave it to me and I didn't even know I needed it. So I didn't even know that I needed this book, and a friend of mine gave it to me, and I'm so thankful she did because I didn't know I needed it and somehow she did. So I've been reading it and I'm in chapter 6 right now. It says, it's love the one you is. And it says, if we really love ourselves, everything in our life works. And I know on mindset and in this team in general, we talk a lot about self-love, affirmations. If you are not confident in who you are, how can you put that confidence and self-love out into the world? How can you love other people if you can't even love yourself? Those type of things, right? So this chapter spoke to me because of a few things. There's actual like bold, I don't know if you guys can see, but like bold, and then it goes into detail. But it says, when we're happy and all in love with ourselves, we can't be bothered with the BS, our own or other people's. So if you are fully in love with yourself, you cannot be bothered by other people's crap, right? Because let's say, and this goes into promoting, this goes into whatever season of life you're in. If you are truly loving yourself, if someone comes at you, let's say you're promoting, you're loving the way you're feeling that day, you make this post and the post is like, I feel so good today. I have so much energy. I've done all this stuff with my kids, and this negative Nancy gets on your post and is like, oh, that's the MLM, that's a scam. You are going to be like, girl, bye. I know what is working for me. I know what I love. I know how good I feel. And you're going to delete the comment and you're not going to think twice about it. You know what I mean? And so when you are truly living that, not putting on a show, not faking it till you make it, when you truly love that, it's easier for you to be faced with these things because you can just push them off. You're just like, whatever. I don't have time for your BS. I don't have time for that crap. I'm too busy loving myself. I'm too busy growing. I'm too busy focusing on what I can control. And your negativity I don't have room for it. And we talked about that not long ago. I think it was mindset. It was getting rid of what you want to grow. You can't have weeds. If you're wanting self-love, you can't keep holding on to all that doubt. You can't keep holding on to that guilt and that fear. And if you never move on and move forward, it's never going to change. So it says, imagine what our world would be like if everyone loved themselves so much that they weren't threatened by other people's opinions or skin colors or sexual preferences or talents or education or possessions or lack of possessions or religious beliefs or customs or their general tendency to just be whoever the hell they are. So it's like loving yourself so much that the outside world doesn't affect your day. And I know that's harder said than done. And I know that we're all on a path of more self-love and we're on a path of self-development and growth. We all are. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like since I've been on this team and this journey, I found myself more than I ever have. Okay, looking at Haley a year ago and looking at Haley today is doing some scary, risky stuff. Okay, it's not illegal, so don't be like looking at me like that. It's not illegal. But things that I would never have even thought about doing because I was too scared. Things that I couldn't stop thinking about, but I was scared of the outcome, or I was scared of letdown or failure or someone not liking me enough or me not being enough, period. Me not being talented enough or good enough. So when you start loving yourself, if you feel like you're good enough and you feel like you're enough, then you go into situations and conversations with a different energy. You go in like, I know I'm here. I know I have talent. I know that you see me. Have y'all seen that TikTok where it's like the laundry and the dishes and the mom sitting on the couch and they're talking about the dishes and the laundry are like, you see me? I see you. She'll see us, but I see you. I feel like that is me with the old me. Like, I see you, but I'm ignoring you because the old me is gone And so I feel like when we truly are stepping into that self-love realm, we don't see the old us as much, and we start seeing this new person just blossom. And that is the whole key to self-love, is loving yourself to a point that that fear isn't something that keeps happening every day for the same thing that was happening 3 years ago. And I'm really hoping you guys can put in the chat if this is making sense. But this is like the season that I'm in, and I feel like some people are also in. And I don't want you to feel alone. I want you to know that this happens, and it's going to continue happening. And the beautiful part is that it's growth. When you're uncomfortable, when you feel like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? When you feel like you can't breathe, okay, that is growth. And it's not something that you just need to do once. You need to do it, you need to get comfortable, and then when you start getting comfortable, you need to change it up again, because being uncomfortable brings you more growth. So the first one is appreciate how special you are. There will never be anyone exactly like you. You were given special gifts and talents to share with the world, and even though everybody has special gifts and talents, nobody will use theirs quite the same way you do. So I'm gonna just talk like about me for a second. Like, everybody has their talents, right? One of mine is makeup. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are thousands, millions of makeup artists, but no one is me. Same way with, if like Katie and her cooking. Okay, there are a whole bunch of people that do keto, but no one cooks just like Katie. I saw Tanya hopped on, and I want to hop over. There are tons of people that are Christian, but maybe no one prays like Tanya. Okay. So when we need prayer, we go message Tanya. Or when we need makeup advice, people message me. Or if I need advice on how to cook a low carb something, I'm going to message Katie. No one can do what you do the way you do it. So even if you love makeup, but you're comparing yourself, and that's another part in here, to stop comparing yourself, do it anyway. Because something, and I will get to that. I'm jumping the gun. So the next one is drown yourself in affirmations. Trust me, I wouldn't do this to you unless I had to, but affirmations work. You don't have to say them in the mirror. You don't have to hug yourself or buy a special rainbow journal with a lock on it to write them down in. But if you want to turn the ship around, you need to rewire your brain. And I know you guys, even me, I've heard this a million times, especially from Courtney and on mindset. Rewire your brain and train it to think differently. And this is what affirmations can do for you. So as you're sitting there and the things that run through your mind negatively every single day, I want you to turn it around, and I want you to make an affirmation out of it. So like, if you're constantly like, oh my gosh, I am just so ugly, I want you to write down an affirmation: I am beautiful. Or, oh my gosh, I am just so anxious. I want you to write an affirmation: I am calm. Whatever it is, switch it around, make an affirmation, write it down, and start figuring out how that can be your reality. Now, obviously, we talk a lot about manifestation and stuff like that. And manifestation is not, I'm going to be rich tomorrow and that's what happens. No, but telling yourself, okay, I am going to be this by this. Putting the work into it, making it happen, making a reality for yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. I've been on this journey for years and I'm still not where I want to be. Okay. So don't be so hard on yourself to a point where you think you're going to write down affirmations and tomorrow you're going to wake up positive Patty. Okay, it's not going to happen that way. Life is still going to shoot you down. Life is still going to put those negative thoughts in your mind. But if you have those affirmations stuck, I don't care if you put it on sticky notes all over your house. When you think something negative, immediately turn it into an affirmation. And just start getting in the habit of loving on yourself, because you would never sit there and tell your child you're ugly. You would never sit there and tell your child, oh my gosh, you're so just, ugh. But we say it to ourselves every single day, and it's not fair. It's not fair to ourselves that we do this. And I'm the one, like, I do it. So there is no judgment from me to you. It's me saying, like, I even have to, I do this every single day. Um, the next one is going to be, so this is super important. So this can't be just rattling off nonsense. You have to feel it and want it and get worked up by it in order for it to make it work. So if it's something that you're just like, whatever, and it brushes off, that's not firing you up. That's not making you want a change. And that is where affirmations are going to come in, not just whatever. Changing your mind and rewiring your brain is super hard because you're trying to change. Like, I'm 20, I'll be 25 this year. So trying to rewire 24 years of learning is hard. It's hard. So number 3 is something that I have really been like really delving into, and it is do the things you love. So when you constantly deny yourself the people, food, things, and experiences that make you feel the most alive, that sends a pretty lousy message home. Look at your life and see what you're letting yourself down. If you hear yourself saying things like, I love going out to see live music, I can't remember the last time I did it, make time. Okay, we talk about this all the time. How can you be a product of the product? How can you be living a life that you love if you really aren't? And so I think sometimes we get so caught up in these 3 steps give me so much energy, but you're not fueling your fire. You're not helping other people see that even as a mom, you are still going out and making time to see live music. Or like for me, as a full-time mom and business owner and going to be very, very busy soon, I still make time to sit down and do my makeup. Do you know how many moms are struggling right now to even make time to take a bubble bath? And yet I'm up, ready to go, smiling, happy, doing my makeup, showing them, Mama, you don't have to be in pajamas every day. You don't have to be on that 3rd cup of coffee every single day. It's a broken record. So once again, product of the product, you can't expect people to think that you're a product of the product if you are still showing them that you're tired, that you're not fueling your fire. And I'm not saying makeup, I'm not saying like anything in particular, whatever. If sitting down and reading a book when your kids go to sleep fuels your fire, please do it. What was it? Like, I remember me saying, I love to read, but I couldn't tell you the last time I read a book. You guys, I'm reading like 4 right now. I love reading. I love it. Why did I stop? Because I thought I couldn't be a mama and take time for me. I promise you that's why. So if something fuels your fire, do the things you love, even if it's food. Like, when was who loves sushi? Or Laura said, oh, who loves like Italian food or wants to go out and get, I don't know, I don't even care if it's you going to the movies and getting a thing of popcorn, right? Do the things that you love. And to be honest, when you start pouring into you, your marriage, if you're married, will probably start flourishing because you start making time for you and you start making time going, wow, we don't go on dates anymore. We don't sit down and like, I don't even care if it's sitting in your house watching a movie that you've watched 50,000 times. Do it. If that brings you joy, do it. And I'm saying this because in the past like week or 2, I've been really pouring into me. And y'all, the amount, and it's not just like, I'm not saying this stuff for Thrive, right? I'm not saying this like, oh, your sales are gonna boom. But you are inherently going to be happier. And what happens when you are happier? You vibrate higher and you bring more happiness to you. And you have this energy around you that no one can ignore. So if you're happy, that will change everything. And please don't think that happiness is circumstantial, because there has to be something for you. Trust me, nobody's life is perfect. in nobody's life, they're sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is rainbows and butterflies. Okay. The person that you see smiling every day, maybe trying to figure out how they're going to feed their family this week. Or the people that you see smiling, maybe trying to figure out how the heck they're going to live when things start getting cut off from like unemployment or whatever. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that that's circumstantial, that they're like out, you know, so happy. And they may be struggling themselves. So do the things you love. This one, find a replacement. So it says we've gotten so used to our negative knee-jerk reactions to ourselves that we never think to question them. We simply take them as the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But once we become aware of our thought patterns and behaviors, we can consciously change them. So start paying attention. What runs through your mind when you look in the mirror? What happens inside of you when you see someone totally succeeding at something you love to do but have never let yourself try? What do you think and feel when you walk up to a group of really good-looking, successful people? Do you feel self-doubt? Do you feel like that could never be me? Do you look in the mirror and just be like, who am I? What am I doing? It says, so notice the verbiage that runs through your mind when you're being the most heinous to yourself and come up with a new and improved response. For example, if every time you look in the mirror, your first thought is yikes, make a conscious effort to change it to, hi, gorgeous. Make a conscious effort. Okay. Don't take it as face value that you've already been like, ugh, when you look in the mirror. Stop. Because that energy that you just gave yourself in the mirror is inherently the energy that you're giving to the person that you talk to in 5 minutes. And then wonder why am I vibrating at such a low level? Like, why am I not happier? Well, how the heck you gonna be happy if you keep talking to yourself like that? Because let me tell you, if somebody looked at me, if somebody else looked at me and was like, oh, yikes, I'll be like, excuse me? I don't know who you think you are, but I don't know what you're looking at. So think about that. If someone has said the things that you say to yourself, to your face, would it make you mad? Because if it would, then you need to start changing the way that you talk to yourself. So the next one is ditch the self-depreciating humor. So we all do this. Oh my gosh, we'd all do this. If you do it, put it in the chat, because I do it every day. I joke about bad stuff about myself. So it says, incessant self-depreciating humor is for losers. I get it. It can be hilariously funny, and I'm totally guilty of it from time to time. And there's nobody I more enjoy backing over with my car than the guy who can't laugh at himself. But I'm talking about the non-stop I don't know how to pronounce this, flagellating, ripping on yourself gets old fast, especially if it's your thing. So if you're one of those people who falls back on making fun of yourself every hour on the hour, not only are you basically begging people to think you're a loser, but you're begging people or begging yourself to think you're a loser. It's like hitting yourself over and over with a crowbar. Why on earth would you do that to your awesome self? What you tell yourself on a daily basis is more powerful than you know. Seemingly harmless jokes over time turn into seriously destructive beliefs. Who feels this in the core of their soul? Because I did when I read it. I felt like she was talking straight to me, reading, she was in my brain. So it says our thoughts become our words become our beliefs become our actions become our habits, and our habits become our realities. So if your favorite joke is that you couldn't get a date if you demanded one at gunpoint and you spend every Saturday night alone, perhaps you should come up with a new one-liner. Okay, so if you're always saying like, oh, well, I couldn't go get that job because of such and such, or I couldn't go and follow this dream because of such and such. Well, guess what? Now that's your reality, because that's what you believe. You're joking about it, but it's not a joke. You deserve happiness. You deserve success because you were amazingly you. But you joke about things like that and you think it's a joke, but we really do think that way. Like, it really does become belief. And I can say that from years and years of, this is self-sabotage right here. This is self-sabotage. So it says, most importantly, constantly making fun of yourself is such a cheap way to be funny. Anyone can do it. So push yourself to come up with a new script. Your confidence, and we humor snobs, well, thank you. Your confidence will skyrocket if you stop doing this to yourself. It is so not fair. If people made a joke, if someone came up to me, and I want you guys, this is like your homework. I know Rachel was like, this is your homework. But y'all, this is what I've been doing. So I think about the things I say to myself, and I imagine someone else coming up to me and saying that. How would I react? In the comments, if you're comfortable, can you please put something that you find yourself saying to yourself a lot? Obviously, all of us here know each other. If you're not comfortable with it, it's totally okay. But I just want you to think, if someone came up to me and said, okay, Laura, so if I came up to you and was like, Laura, you freaking suck at everything, you'd be like, excuse me, but who do you think you were talking to? Because you don't suck at everything. Exactly. It would hurt you. So don't do that to yourself, sister. You don't suck at everything. How many people on this Zoom look up to Laura? How many people on this Zoom look at her situation and go, okay, super mom, because I can't imagine being in your shoes. But my God, are you strong? Strong. Absolutely. I look at you like freaking Wonder Woman. Okay. I look at you like this armor and this like shield of armor on you that is taking something that most moms can never imagine and just doing what you have to do because that's you. Okay. What did Emily say? I'm not worth any more than just being a housewife or mom. Okay, Emily. So if I were to walk up to you and be like, it's just a housewife, nothing more, and just make a joke about it. Or even if I walked up to you and was like, you know what, you don't even deserve to be a promoter. You're just a wife. You're just a mom. That would be absolutely ridiculous. And anyone that thinks that, you are incredible. There are talents that you probably have that you don't even know you have because you don't allow yourself to see them. How many times do we get in our own ways because we have talents and we don't even show the world, or we're scared we're not good enough, or we compare our talent with someone else's talent? You know what I mean? And I'll give you an example. Let's say you absolutely love makeup, but you compare yourself to Manny MUA or Jeffree Star or whatever. I could never be them. I could never be that successful. I could never have a YouTube like that. I could never get on, a big high-end brand PR list. I could never do any of that. Why not? Why not? Because you're telling yourself you can't. I could never be that successful. I don't care what it is. I know that every single person on this Zoom has told themselves that. Even if it comes down to Thrive and you see Lavelle millionaires out here and you're like, I could never be that. I don't have the following. I don't have the social media experience. I don't have this. I don't have that. And what? And what? Because you can only be you. You are incredible and only you can be you. So if you have a talent and you are sitting here not showing the world because you're comparing yourself to someone that may have 5 or 6 years experience on you, or maybe they had a better financial situation at the time. So what? So what? If you have a talent or you have something that fuels your fire, then do that. Let me see what the chat said. Haley said, I'm never going to lose this weight. So, okay, I can relate to this. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you real quick. So many people always tell themselves, I'll never lose the weight. That was my life for 22 years. 22 years. I Thought I'd never lose the weight. I was always heavy. Why couldn't I? What was getting in the way? Was it fear? Was it I'm going to let myself down? Was it I thought I didn't have the determination? Because let's go back and rewind a little bit on yours. You are, though, you are changing your entire life. You came off almost all your diabetic medications. Your levels are coming down. So when you tell yourself this, I'm never going to lose the weight, you need to look in the mirror and, you need to look at yourself and be like, yes, I am. Bet yourself. Because if I walked up to you and I looked at you straight in the face and I was like, Haley, you'll never lose the weight. I don't even know why you're trying. You would be upset, wouldn't you? Don't look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that. You deserve for you to look in the mirror and go, you're beautiful the way you are, but my gosh, girl, you just wait till you see what I'm going to do in the next year. You are going to be so proud of you. You are going to be so proud of you. You have to love on yourself. And let me tell you something. That is something that has changed for me in the past 2 weeks. The things that I used to look in the mirror and tell myself, I have to think, what if someone walked up to me and said that to my face? Would I be upset? Would I be mad? And if the answer is yes, then you need to change that. 100%. And affirmations didn't work for me until I started thinking, because I'm spicy, okay? If you don't know me, I am spicy. If somebody comes up to me and says, oh, or, oh my gosh, because this has happened. Oh my gosh, that makeup, it's just too much. Or whatever the case may be, I'm like ready to, you got to square up. And I have to back myself down, okay? So why do I allow it to happen in my own home to myself? It is unacceptable, because you would not let someone else come up and say that to you, nor would you let it happen to your children. If somebody came up to your child and told your child, oh, you're going to be big the rest of your life, girl, you'd be like, we going right now. You would be ready. So just love on yourself. That has changed so much for me, my energy, what I accept is my reality. What I am saying, I used to think like I'm stuck. I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom. I used to feel all those things that I'm seeing these comments, and I still do sometimes. It's not an overnight thing, but changing the way that you think, rewiring your brain and truly starting to love yourself, finding things that make you think, because I can tell you nothing is going to work. Not the same thing is going to work for everybody, if that makes sense. So if like when I first started this self-love thing, they were talking about like self-love journals. Let me tell you something. I can't have 20 books over here with writing in it. I'm going to forget what I was writing. I literally can't. Like, I know I can't. So I know what makes me mad. And that is when someone may, like, not someone coming up and saying that stuff to me, because like that's their opinion. My point is saying, if you were saying these things to yourself, if someone else were to come up to you and say it, how would you feel? If you wouldn't feel empowered, then it's time to change it. It's time to start changing that internally so that we can push it outward. Because when you feel like you were on fire and you start like, you know what, I'm doing this for me and I don't care what comes in my way because it's not going to stop me, that is where you start putting this higher energy out and people feel it. And that is where things are going to start changing. And please don't think I'm saying this to be like, you're going to start affirmations and tomorrow you're going to be 80K. This ain't about thrive, okay? This is not, it can inherently go that way, but don't take it that way, okay? So the next one is let the love in. It says receive compliments gracefully. Y'all, this is hard for me, okay? This is hard for me because for so many years I didn't get compliments, okay? I was not one that got, like, I was not confident. I didn't get compliments. And so taking them now is super hard for me because I'm like, okay, you didn't have to lie to my face like that though. You know, it's hard for me. And I'm saying this stuff so you guys know you are not alone. The people that you may think are super confident, they came from somewhere. Okay. It didn't just happen overnight. They came from somewhere and it took work. Um, so it says, instead of countering it with a disclaimer such as, oh, this rowdy old thing, or try this instead, thank you, period. So if someone's like, oh my gosh, girl, I love your hair. I did that, y'all. I did this last week. Now that I went in and the girl was like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. And you know what my response was? Instead of, oh, thank you, I was like, girl, I need a haircut, but I haven't been able to go see my girl recently. Why did I do that? She gave me a compliment and I'm over here saying it looks like crap because I need a haircut. I do this and I know that we do it so often. It could be a purse, it could be your hair, it could be your makeup, it could be your clothes, it could be your sense of humor. Someone could tell you you are so hilarious and you're just gonna be like, yeah, girl, whatever. Why? They wouldn't have said it if they didn't feel like they wanted to say it. People are more truthful than you think they are. So if someone tells you you are powerful, you are strong, Laura, you are strong. Don't be like, this is nothing. I am not. I am not. No, no, you deserve. Thank you. I sure am. And it's not you being cocky. It's not you being like, oh, you know, my stuff don't stink. It's not that. It's you saying, thank you. I sure am strong for dealing with what I'm dealing with right now. So don't do that. I know it's like humbleness. I know because you are a very humble person, but you deserve that. You deserve those compliments because you are such a fighter. Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm gonna wrap this up because I know you guys are like, whatever. I see I did it again. You guys might be getting so much value from this, and I'm over here discrediting it. See, I have to catch myself.
I'm getting value. Quit that.
So the last one is don't compare yourself to others. Have you ever done something that you're so proud of and feel all on top of the world about it until you see that someone else has done something similar that in your mind is better, and all of a sudden you feel sad? I do this every single day. Every single day. It could be I made a Canva thing and then I was like, oh, this looks good, girl. And I go on Pinterest and somebody made one that makes mine look like my daughter, my 4-year-old, made it. And I'm like, well, all right, that put me in my place. I do this every single day. It can be the smallest things. And all the time, it's because we have lived that. That is our reality. We've lived it forever. Okay, so please remember that rewiring your brain is going to take however many years old you are. That's how long you are trying to rewire. It's not like you just decided, oh, well, this is going to take 2 days, so let's go to it. This takes time and it takes conscious effort. It takes finding things that make you rethink the way that you're thinking. So it says comparison is the fastest way to take all the fun out of life. It's none of your business what other people are doing. All that matters is that you're enjoying yourself and pleased with what you're creating. It's precisely, your uniqueness that makes you awesome. Deciding that someone else's uniqueness is better than your own isn't exactly being your own best buddy about things. So if you love doing hair, if you love, I don't know, you guys, give me some ideas. I don't know. If you love doing something and then you go log online and you're on Facebook or you're on IG or you're on YouTube and you see someone else doing it so much better and you're just like, I didn't even do that great. Your own uniqueness is your own. Singing. Okay. First of all, any talent is a talent, no matter how big or how small. And someone very close to me said that the other day, and it like has stuck with me. And no talent is better than another. So I can't sing for nothing. Girl, when I'm in church, I know the people beside me are like telling their mom, like, we need to move. We need to go over there because I can't sing for nothing, but I'll be screaming in church, okay? Hallelujah. So I'm just saying that, okay, so singing, first of all, a talent is going to take practice. right? Everybody says practice makes perfect. So if you're not continuing if that brings you joy and you love it, why are you not singing on a live video on Facebook? Why? Because you don't feel like you're good enough? Because guess what's going to happen if I ever see you live on Facebook singing? It ain't going to be the first thing that pops in my head is not going to be, oh, here we go. Let me see how she sounds. The first thing that's going to pop in my mind is, wow, that is brave. That is brave, because I could never, okay? I could never. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to see, like, that is so brave. Kelly, I sing for Jesus too. I be screaming. This weekend, Sunday, I was sweating, I was dancing, I was singing. Me and the kids fell to the floor on our knees in the pulpit, like we were up there. But when you have something that brings you so much joy and you can't stop thinking about it, why are you not chasing it? 100%. Oh, I'm not gonna say 1%. 99% of the time is because you think you're not good enough. No one's gonna like it. You're scared. You're scared about how people are gonna judge you. You're scared about how you're gonna sound or how you're gonna look. I get it. I get it. But you'll never know if you never try. So in 5 years from now, are you gonna look back going, I am so mad at myself that I never chased this singing thing, or even tried to bless other people with my voice, even if it's never like a job. You know what I mean? If you went to sing and you said, okay, I'm going to sing every Thursday night at 7 p.m. and people started hopping on just to start talking to you and listening to your voice. If you're singing praise music or whatever you're singing, and it brings brightness and joy to someone else's life. Imagine the lives you could impact. Because I promise you, you send me a time and a place, and my little phone gonna be clicking to Facebook at that time and place, and I'm gonna be over there singing with you, okay? On the other side. Don't invite me to the live, because I'm not doing it. I don't know. I might do it. Just, whatever. We can do it together. But my point is that you are not, like, you're not doing it because you may be comparing yourself. I'm not gonna sound like her. Or I'm too scared that people are going to judge me. Girl, whatever. Who cares? This is life. We all living on a rock. This spinning in air right now. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has their quirks. You might be the best sounding person someone ever heard, but you don't think yourself as that. And then I saw Kelly said, I love blessing others. And you do an amazing job at it. That is like your thing. Your thing 100% is blessing other people. And I know that every person that you have impacted and touched will never forget it. And so that's beautiful in itself. But anyway, so I'm not going to keep you guys on here. This is an amazing book. The last one is Forgive Yourself. This one is extremely important. You have screwed up in the past, you will screw up again. Every human is born with the ability to make spectacular mistakes. You are not alone. Screwing up is not your special skill. Get over it. Dragging around guilt and self-criticism is beyond unhealthy and is utterly pointless, not to mention boring. You aren't a better person for feeling guilty or bad about yourself. You're just a sadder one. And it's so true. I heard a song the other day, and it said, don't borrow the sadness from yesterday or the unknown from tomorrow, or something like that. Like, it was saying, live in the present moment. Why do we sit around like, I can't believe that I freaking did that 5 years ago? What was I thinking? We the only ones thinking that. The people that were around us 5 years ago, we did that, probably haven't thought about it since. Or who knows, people may not have even been around us. Use it as learning. You'll never do it again. Move on. Because If you're stealing or you're borrowing guilt and sadness from yesterday, how do you expect to live a happy today? Because all that is just sitting on your heart. All that sadness and guilt and frustration and just anger is just sitting in you. And then you expect to radiate happiness today. That goes back to the subconscious and conscious mind that we talked about last week, about how you consciously want to grow a business, but subconsciously you're scared that you're not going to be good enough. You're not going to be able to keep up with a fast-paced team. You're always saying, I want to find this unicorn promoter, but you're scared. Your subconscious saying, I can't keep up with that unicorn promoter. They're going to red leg me. They're going to do whatever. So whatever is in your subconscious, conscience, whatever, however you want to say it, is what is fueling you right now. And you don't even know it. It's like you're on autopilot. So forgive yourself, love yourself. It says holding on to bad feelings about this is doing nothing but harming me and everyone else and preventing me from enjoying my life fully. I am an awesome person. I choose to enjoy my life. I choose to let this go. Repeat this until you feel a sense of freedom and lightness around your issue. It may take a day or a week or several months, or it could happen right away, but however long it takes, do it. Because if you want to be free, you have to put in the time. Now, I'm not saying freedom as in, I don't know if you guys, what religion you are, what you believe, whatever. Not saying your freedom and the freedom of your past, if you found your savior and all that, whatever, but your mind has so much control over you, and your being free of those negative thoughts takes time. Because don't nobody say, okay, I'm done being negative Nelly and wake up tomorrow positive Patty, and there was no work put in. Literally, you can't. You cannot. So it says, if you need to apologize to someone, pick up the phone. So if you feel like that is going to help you, do it. And then love yourself, because it's the holy grail of happiness. Yo, I got that wrote in my room. I know that's kind of lame, but it's true. I have that wrote in my room. Love yourself. It is the holy grail of happiness. Because it all comes from here. Everything that you put out in the world, it comes from internal. That sounded gross, like you're just throwing up all over the world, but throw happiness all over the world. Even when things aren't going the best way or the way you want them to go or whatever, just throw happiness around like sprinkles or confetti or whatever you want to call it, and just impact other people while loving you. The things that scare you are the things you probably need to do, because I promise you they're going to turn out differently than what you're telling yourself. If it's going and, I don't know, someone that intimidates you, someone that's really successful and you've always wanted to talk to them or wanted to ask them questions, if that scares you because you're like, oh, they're going to turn me away, they're not going to have time for me, they don't even know who I am, they're not going to do whatever, then go do it. If they do turn you down and you truly love yourself, you're going to be like, they're lost. Moving on. Okay? Just because someone is like this person in your eyes, they're still a person. But at the end of the day, when you look in that mirror, nothing you say to yourself should be anything that upsets you if someone else says it to you. And I always cry on a Zoom, and I don't know why. I am going to hop off of here now because I feel like I've held you on here. I think you guys get the point. Okay, this book is a must-have. If you have not read it, please get it, because it has helped me so much in the past few weeks for what I've been going through, what I've been dealing with, what is to come, that I am hitting milestones and doing things that I've been scared of for years because of this book. and because of the people that I'm surrounding myself with and the energy that I am accepting to be in my life. I am unwilling, and you should be telling yourself this every day, I am unwilling to live miserable. Maybe you don't have exact control over your finances right now. That's okay. Finances aren't everything. I may not have all the money that I need right now, but I refuse to live miserable. I refuse to sit in the house and sulk. I'm unwilling to live that life. Unwilling. So if you're unwilling to do whatever it is that is making you unhappy, then make sure you're telling yourself that, because guess what? Every person needs a reminder for themselves, because we get sidetracked. Things pop up and we're like, we forget. And then we get down on ourselves and we forget that we told ourselves, I am unwilling. We're not going down this road again. We're not doing this again. We're changing it, because if we keep going down this road in 5 years, in a year from now, we're going to be going down the same road because we didn't do it this time. There's no better time than now. None. So I love you guys literally the most. I thank you so much for getting on here. I know like it was kind of last minute, not last minute, but we had a few people like, I don't know if they remembered or not, but I am so proud of everybody for hopping on a Memorial Day. And I hope that this was some value that you needed to hear, that maybe gave you some tactics on battling yourself, because that is your number one person that you are struggling with right now. 100%. That is who you are going to continue struggling with, because guess what? You can't leave her. You can't move away from her. You can't end the friendship with her. You have to learn to love her, and you have to learn to grow with her. And that's honestly, I have to remind myself that every day. You can't leave your same sister. You got to start loving it. You can't change it. I mean, I could go get full like surgery and stuff to change something, but that's not going to change my heart. That's not going to change my mind. So look in the mirror, and if something you say to yourself, if someone else said it to you and it would make you mad, look in the mirror and say the opposite. And you do that every single day. Every single day. You don't let yourself forget it. So I love you guys. Happy Monday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. And remember the actual ultimate price that people have paid for our freedoms to be sitting here loving on each other. So I hope you guys enjoy it.